allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. First on tonight's agenda is Doctors Corley and Maxwell with new provider introductions.
Well, good evening. It gives me great pleasure to introduce a number of Olympic medical physician new providers tonight. First is Nancy Ahlstrom. She's board certified in internal medicine and nephrology. She joined us in June of this year on our hospitalist service. She earned her MD and did her internship and residency from Kansas University School of Medicine, and then did a fellowship in nephrology and hypertension at the University of Florida College of Medicine. She was a partner in a nephrology clinic in Provo, Utah, where she also worked as a hospitalist at Utah Valley Medical Center and American Fork Hospital before moving here to Port Angeles and joining our hospital team.
And I started begging for a job here about 3 years ago because I love Port Angeles. So there you are.
That is actually true. Dr. Ahlstrom walked into Eric's office 3 years ago and said, I'm moving here in 3 years.
Yes, we're very glad that you did move here.
Yeah.
So next is Martin Court, DO and PhD. He's board certified in internal medicine and also joined our hospitalist team here in August. Dr. Korb earned his Bachelor of Science from the University of Washington in Chemistry, his PhD from Ohio State University in Biochemistry, and his Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine from Touro University's College of Osteopathic Medicine in Nevada. He came to OMP from Yakima Valley Memorial Hospital, where he provided inpatient care on the hospitalist service for a year, and then joined us, so welcome.
Well, thank you all. Be glad I'm back in. Very nice place to work. Thank you.
Next is Becky Godby, ARNT in psychiatry. She joined us in April of 2015. She earned her associate's degree in nursing from Anderson University in Indiana, going on to get a Bachelor of Science in Nursing at the University of Alaska in Fairbanks, her ARNP at the University of Texas in Dallas, a Master's in Nursing at the University of Texas in El Paso, and finally a Postmaster's Nurse Practitioner Certificate in Family Psychiatry and Mental Health from Rush University in Chicago, Illinois. She came to OMC and Peninsula Behavioral Health from Ozarks Medical Center's Behavioral Health Unit in West Plains, Missouri, where she provided outpatient psychiatric care for adults and children. So Becky is working half of her time at Peninsula Behavioral Health and half of the time in our primary care clinics, and we are getting just outstanding reviews about this service and about her services in particular, so welcome.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here, and I don't want to move anymore.
Next is Brad Kroll, a PAC. He started in May of this year. Brad earned 2 Bachelor of Science degrees, one in petroleum engineering from Penn State University and one in computer science from University of North Carolina, Charlotte. He went on to earn 2 master degrees as well, his first in applied mathematics from Johns Hopkins University, and then in physician assistant studies from Pacific University in Forest Grove, Oregon. He came to OMP after practicing at the Quileute Health Clinic in La Push for 12 years. He lived in Port Angeles and took the bus every single day, back and forth. He said he used it to read. So welcome, Brad.
Good to be here. Yeah, now I have a 9-minute walk instead of a 90-minute bus ride.
As I read these introductions, I'm beginning to feel like an underachiever. That's great. Next is Lee Baker, ARNP. She started at the walk-in clinic in September of this year. She also earned 2 Bachelor of Science degrees, one in medical technology from Arkansas State University and the other in nursing from the Medical University of South Carolina. She earned her Master's of Nursing from University of Connecticut in 2009. She came to OMP from Norwich, Connecticut, where she recently spent 5 years at Generations Family Health Center providing care to adolescent and adult patients. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Thanks.
Next is Meredith Tipo, PAC, U.S. Army Reserves. She earned her Associates of Science in Emergency Medicine from Greenville Technical College in South Carolina, her Bachelor of Science in Physician Assistant Studies, and her Master's of Physician Assistant Studies from University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha. Her prior job was she worked as a platoon sergeant healthcare specialist for the 382nd Medical Company in Asheville, North Carolina, and as a healthcare specialist for the 722 5th Medical Support Unit in Greenville, South Carolina. Welcome.
Thank you. We're very happy to be here. It's a beautiful area.
She can get all
Get the tutorial right before. Next, I'm filling in for Sheraton Anesthesia Group to introduce Emily Hirschberger, MD. She's board certified by the American Board of Anesthesiology. She joined the Sheraton Group of Anesthesiologists here at Olympic Medical Center in November of this year, Veterans Day, I think. She graduated from the University of Colorado in Boulder with 2 bachelor degrees, a Bachelor of Arts in Economics and a Bachelor of Science in Biology. She earned her MBBS, which is an equivalent of an MD degree, from the University of Sydney in Sydney, Australia. Her general internship was completed at the Royal North Shore Hospital in Sydney. She completed her internship and residency at the Wake Forest University Baptist Medical Center in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And before coming here, she served as an instructor at the Columbia University Medical Center's Department of Anesthesiology. So welcome, Dr. Hirschmiller.
Thank you, thank you. Tom and I have been trying to get back to the Pacific Northwest for a very long time. We've been all over the world and looking to settle here. I'm from Vancouver, Washington, and he's from Vancouver Island, so we're very happy to make this our home and start and build our careers here. Thank you.
Welcome. Next is Tom Hirschmiller, MD, who is board certified by the American Board of Orthopedic Surgery. He's going to be joining us any week now, and hopefully by January at the latest. He has an undergraduate degree in history from Princeton University, attended medical school in Sydney, Australia, where he too earned his MBBS. He completed his general internship in Sydney at the Royal North Shore Hospital and his orthopedic surgery internship and residency at Duke University. He then went on and completed a fellowship in orthopedic adult reconstruction in July of 2015. This will be his first position out of training. And one fun fact about Dr. Hirschmiller, he is an Olympic silver medalist. His men's 4 rowing team won a silver medal for Canada in Athens, Greece in 2004.
Cool. Wow.
This lawyer was for Canada, not the States. So I'll work on my Pledge of Allegiance. And obviously after the visa, I can start working on that. But thanks so much for having us. Really appreciate it. We're, like Emily said, we're really excited to be here. I grew up in Comox, so you know, we have been kind of globetrotting, and I really feel like I'm coming home. So we'll be here for the long term.
Do you know that there's a rowing club here?
Yes, I do. I'm on the board.
Got me on that
one. And next is Eric Hempel, DO. In family practice. He joined Veterans Day, correct? So he went to medical school in Kansas City. He did his residency at Oregon Health Sciences University. He did his first year in Portland, and then his second and third years in Klamath Falls. Dr. Hempel was part of a rural training track residency program, which is exactly what we've been looking at here for our community. He stayed in Klamath Falls for 10 years. Before deciding to move here to the Pacific Northwest and specifically to the Port Angeles area. When Dr. Hempel came and interviewed his children, he told me that his kids have been spending their whole time playing with a dog, And as he described the dog and where he was saying for his interview, I realized it was my dog, who I'm very bad about keeping in my yard. He and his family are fellow dog lovers. We've just been delighted. And I'm sharing a number of patients already with Dr. Hempel, and all I'm hearing is just rave reviews about the care that he's giving. So welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, my kids are still asking about Champion, so we're not going anywhere. We love it here. So, thank you.
I'll turn it over to Dr. Maxwell.
I just want to say Dr. Hempel joined us in our Sequim clinic, which we really needed your services. So it's great to have everybody here. I think we have a very impressive recruitment. Something good happened in 2015, and it's our recruitment class.
I heard from Sally Rowland in Medical Staff Services that you've been very busy, and now I see why. That's an impressive group. I need to talk to you about, Dr. Dave Dassoff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's me. That's my MBBS. Excuse me. Hello. She's trying to find the conference room. So maybe you can sort of scout out, Sharon. Thank you. So yeah, thanks for the opportunity to come and introduce my new colleagues at Orthopedic Healthcare. As you know, it's very difficult to find good primary care, and we hit the jackpot with these 5. We went looking for 1, and we got 5. And it's when you see good people, you don't say no. So I'll start with Dr. Ned Hammer. Ned has got his medical degree from Johns Hopkins. He and his wife, Dr. Lubinsky, who could not be here because she is helping with taking the kids to a Christmas program.
Preschool Christmas program, to which I'm going to be returning as soon
as I So Dr. Hammer is a graduate from the Swedish Cherry Hill program, and he was in practice in OMAC for 5 years at the Family Health Center, which was FQHC in OMAC. His practice is full spectrum primary care and OB, and he's been very involved with the WFP and community health. He's already made some presentations in the community already.
I did talking about opioids as well.
And he's a great cartoonist, actually. So, really happy to have Ned.
Thanks so much. I'm really excited to be here. I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, so that's my other full-time job. My wife Liz and I are actually practice sharing or splitting a job. As anyone here knows, it's always easier to ramp up rather than cut back. So we recognize from the start that's what we wanted to do. But my passions are underserved communities and rural medicine. And when we joined this group, we were thrilled about the possibility of this becoming a rural residency training track. I think that holds broader implications than just the residents that we'll get for the whole community in the future health and healthcare in the area. So I'm really excited about that. I'm also was really excited to be joining what I hoped would, at the time that we signed, would become an FQHC. That's kind of all I'd ever worked in, and with the promise of making more services available to more folks, but also excellent quality service. That was always really important. And the chance to work with the hospital kind of partner and still do the full spectrum family medicine, including inpatient and OB. But the last thing I'll say is just that my wife Liz and I both signed our contracts before either of those things took place, because we felt that this was the right place, and that you all and Mike's group are the right people. So we're thrilled to be here. And then so many people have said we're not planning on going anywhere.
I don't know if Ed wants to make the hazardous task of speaking for his wife. I don't tend to do that for mine, but his wife, Liz Lubinsky, had a medical degree from the University of Minnesota. She also was a graduate from Cherry Hill, Swedish Cherry Hill, and also does full spectrum primary care and OB. Dr. Lubinsky in OMAC was the hospitalist for New Valley Hospital, and became the medical director, the hospital's director as well. And we're just thrilled down here. I'm not sure if you want to add.
She's smarter and better looking.
So next is with perfect timing is Jessica Caldwell. She's had her medical degree from the University of Queensland in Australia, an MBBS. So I'm not sure, Jessica, I just learned that the Hirschmillers are also MBBSs.
Yes, we chatted before, yeah.
So we have the triumvirate here. It's great. She completed her residency at a rural training track out of the Boise program, Feminist Residency of Idaho in Twin Falls, and just joined us in October, right? September. And we're thrilled to have her here. She does full spectrum primary care and OB.
Perfect, want us to say something? Or?
Sure, yeah. Actually dance, yeah.
I'm super stoked to be here. I guess we should talk about how we found this place. Is that what you're?
Sure.
So my residency is Family Medicine Residency of Idaho is a really big player in placing rural physicians in rural towns. And so we have two of the big leaders that are involved in that, which is Ted Upperly, who's our old program director, who's very well known in family medicine, who's an old AFP president, and Dave Schmitz. And their jobs are often to travel around to small towns and figure out why physician retention is a problem. So he always told me in residency that your spousal satisfaction is the #2 thing that keeps your physicians there. So I basically told my husband, this is what I do for a living, and find the town that works for that. And he vacationed up here as a child, fell in love with the area, and he kind of steered us that direction. And I wanted a place that I could do. OB was a big thing that I was interested in residency, and I wanted to be able to continue that. And this clinic was hiring, and that's where it starts and ends.
And Jessica was the first. She joined us for it was like a week or two that you came through and was the first to say, I want to be here. So this was like before you finished your third year, right?
Yes,
yeah.
It was like a week of visiting. We were sold. Yeah.
So we're thrilled to have you. Next is Dr. Ben Curran. He got his medical degree from the University of Chicago, Loyola, right?
University of Loyola,
Chicago. The syntax is always throws me off. He did his medical residency at the Adventist Hinsdale near Chicago, is that correct?
Yep.
And did an additional year of high-risk OB fellowship for the University of Utah, Provo. And Ben joined us in August, is that correct?
Yep.
And he got an opportunity to try out the OB services from both ends of the patient care spectrum as a deliverer of OB and having somebody in his family deliver.
Yeah, we have a 2-month-old now, so and we also have a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. So we all love it here. My wife is from Olympia, Washington, and she wanted to be close to family, but not too close, and not in as much rain. And the weather and proximity to family kind of fit the bill. And I love the Northwest. It's a nice chance to get closer to family, and we really like the area. Love the opportunity to be able to practice full spectrum family medicine, which is kind of a little bit of a dying art in a lot of places around the country. And to be able to practice obstetrics and perform C-sections, which is what I was trained to do. And so being able to do all of that here and a location of work for the rest of my family was perfect.
And finally, I just got a text a moment ago from our last colleague, Lindsay Hay. She was driving furiously back from Seattle, and the ferry was delayed, so she's not going to be here in time. So I told her not to rush and get in an accident. That would be happy for everyone. She got her medical degree from the University of Washington School of Medicine. She did her residency at Swedish First Hill, and also did a rural OB fellowship in Tacoma. And she is is a rock star. We really hit jackpot with all of them. I just got to say, it's we're thrilled to have them there. Without exception, they're some of the most intelligent, the kindest, generous, and hardworking people I've met, and they've got great families and cute kids, and they're just wonderful people. So we're thrilled to have them, and we appreciate the assistance of the hospital to help us achieve that. Thank you.
Take a brief pause so the board members who have not had an opportunity to meet the new providers can do so, and I'll call us back to order in just a few minutes.
I think we match. Merry Christmas.
Different circumstances.
That was a funny judgment.
Oh, no, we're getting ready. I've been through a lot last year. Oh, I'm a cruise ship. Granted, hello again.
He's elusive.
He's very good.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Get you the basketball around a little bit.
I feel like we're...
Yes, right, exactly. Actually, it was really a fun place to live. It's played softball in 4 different leagues. It's great. Am I happy?
Rocks instead of grass. I did that in swim too. I never quite got into that.
Rock walls. Everybody has a rock wall around their yards. It doesn't mean that their neighbor.
Good.
And it's hard to have that rock wall. Hard to get sandblasted. It can't work like that. Sounds pretty good.
The reason I did my initial and El Paso was trying to attract people, so they gave those credits toward your master's, and you were moving toward master's degree, and so it was
Now PhD, right?
This last year, we moved to
They know they're the background.
So I added at age 29. Okay, that was enough.
At least it wasn't a skateboard.
There you go, get better. Thank you. Oh, thank you. You are so kind.
Are you serious? What years were you there?
I was there from 8 to 71.
Well, you beat me by a long shot. I didn't make it there till the 80s.
Yeah. You know, like, I'm glad to be gone from there. That was 5 days.
This is a long
Yeah, this is my first job
My roommate's birthday.
You would, I would.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the suggestion. Next on tonight's agenda is a consent agenda. May I please have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented? So moved. Comments or discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? So moved. Dr. Bensen, medical staff report.
First, I'd like to thank the board. This is going to be my last report. My term of office as chief of staff will end on the 31st of this month, and thank you all for your support for the last 2 years and before that as well. This is the credentials report for November 2015. Reappointment to the AHP staff, Stephanie Bennett, PAC, Ann Kuman, ARNP, and Deborah Turner, PAC. Reappointment to the consulting medical staff, Gregory Wolgamott, in pathology. Appointment to active medical staff, you've all met Emily Hirschmiller. Reappointment to active medical staff, Timothy Guthrie, Greg Hara, Bill Hobbs, Brad Jones, Mark Koenig, and Lisa Wu. Telemedicine privileges, Arthur Castagno, Jennifer Witt, and resignations were Holly Kaufman and Stanley Liu. I'd ask for approval of those, please.
May I please have a motion to approve the November 2015 medical staff credentials report as presented? Second. Comments or discussion from the board? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? So moved. I should mention that Commissioner Jim Leskinovich is joining us by phone this evening. Jim, I apologize for the late acknowledgement.
No problem. You.
Next on your is orthopedic surgery privilege request form.
So there's been a little alteration in the orthopedic surgery core privileging, taking out anterior and posterior spine surgery since none of our orthopedic surgeons are doing anything like that. And we've got the special hand surgery privileges at the bottom of the page that you can see. And pretty much that's mainly it. I'd like to ask for approval of the alterations to the orthopedic surgery privileging.
May I please have a motion to approve the revised orthopedic surgery privilege request form as presented?
Second.
Comments or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? So moved.
Thanks very much.
Don't go anywhere, Carleen, just for a second. I just want to, this is a gift, small gift from OMC. I just want to recognize really 2 outstanding years of work. Dr. Bensen brings steady and solid leadership. She is no nonsense and addresses issues head on. She's always done what the patient needs and really helps bring stability and progress to the medical staff. One thing I'll never forget is how you focused on improving efficiencies and making processes better. I think there's no question that the medical staff is significantly better today than we were 2 years ago. That's not by accident, it's by hard work, determination, and I think I enjoyed having you as chief of staff for 2 years. You not only worked hard, but I think you tried to bring some fun. And I can tell you who can run a meeting. If you ever have a meeting that you want to run professionally, Dr. Bensen runs a good meeting.
And quick.
Yes, and she saved hours of my life the last 2 years. Many hours.
By the way, I have 2 master's degrees. I'm kind of up with the rest of these guys.
And I think you have 2 master's degrees, plus your background in the military.
Yes.
Brings some skills that greatly benefited the medical center and our patients. So thank you for your 2 years. It's been fun. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Dr. Corley, OMP Physician's Report.
So I'd like to introduce 3 contracts, which I will then bring back for approval at the next meeting. The first is a standard APC employment contract with Michael McGuire, PAC. This is our standard contract for a base salary of $85,000. It includes $5,000 moving and a $2,500 CME stipend. Second is a contract with Comp Health in behalf of Dr. Scott Hankinson. Dr. Hankinson is board certified in OBGYN and will be coming to do some locum coverage probably in late February, early March to give Steve Bush a little bit of a break. And then the third is another Comp Health, and his contract is for $17,300 for an 8-hour day, and then 24-hour weekend call is an additional $338 of overtime for when he actually gets called in. The third one is also with Comp Health. It's for Terry Oskin, who is a primary care physician, who we're looking at bringing in late January for some locums work, just to help us with some of our primary care needs. This contract is for $156.63 an hour, up to 8 hours, and then $289.76 for overtime. But I'll bring these back to the next meeting with further information.
Thank you. I'd like now to open up the meeting for public comment, either for or against the school bond measure. Gene, who's on the roster? Brandon.
Good evening, board, and those in attendance. Thank you for having me again. I wish I wasn't back here again, but unfortunately, we didn't quite reach the threshold that the state has required. You know, we refuse to say that we failed. When you have 59.55% of the population that vote yes, that means that the majority of the population do support this. The need is not going away. It was wonderful tonight to be in here and see the recruitment opportunities, the recruitment that's been happening, and the new doctors that have been coming in, but we also know that one of your main challenges when trying to recruit, especially we saw some young doctors in here tonight that have children that are going to be attending our schools, and it's great to see them here, but it's a challenge having them come here knowing that we have some issues with our schools. We have some wonderful teachers. We have some wonderful programs. We have some horrendous facilities. We have kids that are going to our high school in a science lab that was built before we put a man on the moon. I mean, that's ridiculous. And I know all of you, I've been here before. I know you're in support here and have supported in the past. I have some bond facts, copies for everybody. Basically, the only difference you're going to see here is, unfortunately, we have a $5 million raise in the cost, so it's $54 million. And the reason behind that, and I'm sure you're aware of this, as you're doing new buildings out here, construction costs are rising. There's an ongoing need for construction throughout the state. There are several other bonds that are out there, Chimicum, Port Townsend, and some other local areas do. So we're going to be competing with those contracts as well once this does pass. So it raises our cost a little bit. It raises the cost to the taxpayer about 4 cents from the last bond, but we're still far below where we were in 2013. So again, we're here to ask the board to support with the resolution moving forward, to show your support. And we also ask, you know, one of the big things, we can go out in the community and talk to the community about all the underlying requirements, but coming from the medical community to get them to understand how this affects the community as far as recruiting doctors and why people have to go across the bridge to go to get medical care. And this is a major reason. And so with that, you know, we ask you, the board, to support us moving forward for the February ballot.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Anybody else, John?
No.
Are there comments from the audience regarding the school bond?
If I may. Very quick, because I have associate's degree. Restless children that are occupied by iPads at the moment. I'm Dr. Heather Short, Sequim Animal Hospital in Sequim. I am a mother of 2 children in the Sequim School District, as well as the wife of one of your providers here at OMC, and a newly appointed school board member in Sequim. So I implore you to please pass this resolution to support our school district for many, many reasons. Our facilities do not accurately reflect the quality of education that we provide in the Sequim School District, and we deserve that measure for our children. And I appreciate your support in the past for us. What I would ask as a school board member is all of you have faces in the community. It is important that you not only support this measure this evening, but you support it every single day until the election in February. Be that talk to your community members, talk to your friends, your family, because we need every single vote at this point in time, and we really appreciate your support in the past and tonight, hopefully. Thank you.
Any other comments from the audience?
I would just like to say Olympic Medical Center is currently recruiting approximately 9 physicians to be based in Sequim, including family practice, pulmonology, gastroenterology, medical oncology, radiation oncology, let's see what else. OBGYN. We have a lot of physicians we need in Sequim, and the schools are a key part of that. We have an offer outstanding right now to a family practice physician, and her family is looking at the schools right now, and I hope they join us. But I think education and schools are real important to physicians and other healthcare professionals. And I think this bond, the Sequim School District has paid off the middle school. That bond was paid off in 2013. So we haven't really had a major investment for 20 years in the Sequim School District. And with that bond being paid off, this bond being added, we're still going to be below that rate, I think, or right at that rate. So I think it's affordable, and it really needs to be a priority, I think, for Sequim if we're going to have the medical community we need over time. Because I think our focus at OMC is going to continue to be our recruitment, but we need to really focus on retention. So we want physicians to spend their career here. And we recently lost 2 family practice doctors based in Sequim. And I think we want to focus on retention and long-term careers here in Clallam County.
Other comments from the board? Thank you for your comments regarding the Sequim School District General Improvement Bond. I'd like to direct legal counsel to draft a new resolution in support of the Sequim School District's Improvement General Obligation Bond for consideration at the next board meeting on January 6, 2016. The board feels good schools are critical for recruitment and retention of medical professionals. Old business. Scott, diagnostic imaging equipment purchase.
Good evening. Today I'm going to bring John down, which means we're serious about this business. The next item is it's a higher price item, but we're getting very good prices on the bulk purchase order that we're recommending tonight. The last time we talked about the possibility of putting together a package for a bulk purchase from General Electric. Part of that was predicated upon deciding which ultrasound units we would choose to replace our current ultrasounds, which are reaching end of life. So that we've run a good process. We've had frontline folks, Tiffany Lambert's out here, helped lead the way on the ultrasound effort, and it was determined that the GE model was the model that we needed to get to state-of-the-art and very good ergonomics, improved ergonomics for our employees. That opened up the possibility of including that in a bulk purchase where we looked at the other things that we've been budgeting in 2015 and 16 and need to either purchase or upgrade, which includes literally a forklift upgrade of the MRI in Sequim and also an upgrade of the software of the MRI in Port Angeles with some coils and a new table that's needed there. This will bring both of our MRIs to basically to be entirely refurbished. The MRI in Sequim we purchased or we put in place in 2007. In the hospital it was a couple years later in 2009. In order to be able to upgrade on an ongoing basis these MRIs that are heavily software dependent, we needed to do these upgrades, particularly the one in Sequim. These MRIs will be quieter for the patient. They will also provide better images and some additional imaging on the Port Angeles MRI. Additionally, we have received very good pricing on flywheels, a flywheel system for Port Angeles and one for Sequim. These will protect our MRIs from power surges, and that's an important thing to put in place. We've been looking at that for a while, comparing battery systems versus flywheels, and flywheels will give us a better lifespan and cost effectiveness over time. Additionally, we'll be, as I mentioned, buying ultrasounds. We will be replacing our current ultrasound fleet with state-of-the-art 6 GE ultrasound units. 4 of them are stationary and 2 are portable. And we were able to receive additional portable ultrasound units, one for the ICU and one for the OR, which were identified needs, and we had the help of the folks that will use them to select those. So that, in addition to a portable x-ray machine that we need for the emergency room, put together the bulk purchase that we're recommending to you tonight. And I want to give just a huge amount of credit to John Trolia, the Director of Diagnostic Imaging, who put together a team to analyze this package and to work with folks like Tiffany Lambert and frontline team, Dr. Fishman, and the array of support from OMC to make sure that we're not only picking the right equipment, but getting the right price, looking at our Novation group purchasing system and making sure that we're either matching that or beating that. And we do have a reference capability called ECRI that we used in order to get that. So the one additional thing I wanted to mention tonight is for the new ultrasound units, we will need a new service package. And John Trolia was able to negotiate a new package. We have service, obviously, for the ultrasound units that we have now, but he was able to negotiate an 8-year package. So we make use of the first-year warranties, but over 8 years, we will be able to reduce the current price by about $48,000 a year. So substantial savings over the life of these ultrasounds. So again, we've been able to select the ultrasounds we need to remain state-of-the-art. We were able to put together a group package, which makes best pricing become available on a number of fronts, and also the end of the year, which is something that companies like GE look for, help the pricing as well. And John and the team have just done an excellent job. So the total for this purchase is $2,369,312 for the equipment that we've listed, and then there will be tax and there will be freight. The ultrasound service agreement, which covers 8 years altogether, is $544,600 plus tax. So what I'd like to do is just turn it to John to give a few more details. They've just done a lot of really good work on this, and it's going to be a huge upgrade to our MRI system and also put us on a great platform for these ultrasounds.
Good evening. We started out with the upgrades for the MRI, looking at what we needed. The big things were for the patients, they're complaining about the noise. So the new software from GE actually will do that for us. Also, the age of the equipment, as you get older, the equipment starts going down on its detail and its workability. So we also were getting that plus extra coils. So the new coils will give us more detail and improve our patient care for that. We've had continual problems with the bumps with the electrical and on the very expensive components within the MRI systems. Those would burn out and become very costly. So, and not to mention the downtime we would have for patients not being able to get in. So, that's going to be a big help by having the flywheels. Portable x-ray machine was also added in. We've had some discussion on what we needed for the department. and what was the best system for the department, and it came down to we needed a new portable with a new DR system. When you go up onto the floor or you go into the emergency room, you want to be able to do the exposure right away and have the image right there for the doctor so he can look at it and him or her, and then move it into diagnosis so we can get the patients taken care of. And then lastly, we were looking at the different ultrasounds. We had a separate team with all the ultrasound techs. We pulled them all in together, and we individually went over each piece of equipment. We looked at what the needs were, and one of the bigger things for us was doing portables. You take a big machine up into the room and you have to move stuff around and try and get in there, and it just was very difficult. So we were able to get two smaller little machines that still have the same capabilities, the bigger machines, but were a little bit lighter and easier to get into the rooms. And then we have 4 other machines that will also give us really good imaging. And I'm going to say on top of that, we were able to negotiate and get a software so we can do fusion technology for urology, so they can do prostate biopsies using MRI and ultrasound guided. So together they'll be able to go right to the area that they need with the biopsy. Very needed system. And that's all I have.
Well, I just wanted to add that this purchase really brings us, I mean, the board has been focused on standardization, and this gives us very much standardized in ultrasound and MRI, and I think moves us forward towards that goal. And we do have money budgeted in 2015 and 2016 to more than pay for this, but probably more important than the budgeted money, we have money in the bank, we've had good cash flow, and we've long planned this purchase. And we were looking for a bulk purchasing to get the best possible prices, and I really compliment John and Scott and the whole team, because we got really good pricing, and this will really set us up for the future in imaging. It really helps us move forward, and I really support this purchase.
May I please have a motion to approve? I'm sorry, John.
We discussed after the motion.
Yeah. May I please have a motion to approve the diagnostic imaging equipment purchase of MRI upgrades and flywheel technology for the 2 MRIs in Port Angeles and Sequim, 1 portable x-ray machine, 6 ultrasound units, and 2 portable ultrasound units from GE for $2,369,312 plus sales tax and freight, and ultrasound maintenance agreement as presented.
So moved.
Second. Comments from the board?
Question, John, with this amount of hardware being replaced, do we have any value in what is being replaced, or are they trade-in or what?
Yeah, that was a great question. So the ultrasound units, GE came up with their proposal, and then I went back and asked for a bigger hit, and so they were able to give us a lot more money for the systems.
So it's a trade-in type of thing?
We'll get a trade-in with a higher value for the systems that we're trading in.
Good. Thank you.
How in the world do you reduce the bang of an MRI with software?
That is a good question. So part of the thing with MRI is it's the bang is actually what creates the noise, the MRI signal that's coming off excites the protons from the hydrogen inside the body. And so they're able to take that and get the noise without the high bang. So they'll be able to reduce down the pitch. It's not going to be totally gone, but it'll be reduced down so it's more comfortable to be in there. You'll see a big difference once you get in there.
It's my protons that are banging.
I hope not.
And out of curiosity, what is a flywheel? I missed the meetings because of illness, but.
Flywheels are a different technology. It's actually an older technology, so they don't use a battery. It uses a wheel, and it keeps the machine going, and it'll slowly reduce down, but it keeps the machine up and running for a period of time, and then it'll stop. But our problem is there's nothing in between right now, so if I get a bump, the machine just drops right then, and then the parts can't handle that very well. So what we're going to do is it'll be a slow, gradual come down on the machine, and that'll be a lot easier on the parts. So we'll have maintenance.
Flywheel with the little guy sitting there cranking.
Yeah, it's more like having a mouse in there.
What happens is we get surges of electricity,
Yeah.
and we've had some number of episodes of this where we get surges of electricity, and it really damages components and puts the MRI down for a day or two. And it's very expensive from a lot of perspectives. The most important thing for patient care, we really have to keep them operational.
I just wanted to have a new term in my repertoire to keep track.
So they actually call it dirty electricity. So that, like, the electricity is just not consistent. And this way, we can the electricity going to the MRIs is very uncontrolled.
Thank you.
Yeah, it may not be one bump that takes out a power source, but over time, bumps along the way wear the power source down, and then they fail, and we tend to replace too. So this will help condition the power, or protect from that, and also protect the magnet. The other thing I'll mention is that the board's budget committee has reviewed this carefully, and I don't know if you want to speak to that, but we were supportive of it.
Oh, what's the total number of ultrasound units?
We're going to have 6 for
This
the...
says 6 and 2 portable.
It's
Yeah,
8.
It's actually 8 total.
Oh, it is 8, okay.
There are 2 smaller units that will be for the floors.
Yeah, we're putting a portable one in the ICU and a portable one in the OR. The new standard of care is to really have the ultrasound there for replacement of various things and to look at various things.
And you met Dr. Emily Hirschmiller this evening, anesthesia with Sheridan. One of the unique skill profiles that she brings is the ability to do lots of peripheral blocks. So very specific blocks for arms and legs and shoulders and so forth, chests and things like that. Having this ultrasound technology for the OR will expedite her spreading of that skill amongst our anesthesiologists. It's very helpful for locating those nerves.
Will this require any structural changes, or they just?
MRI, the structural changes there will just be for the flywheel. That's the main construction that we would have over this whole program, the whole purchase for the boat.
So in Sequim, we probably need to do some construction of the room for the flywheel. That might involve bringing the DOH. We'll learn more about that. So we're looking at that now. Port Angeles, maybe not. So.
And those costs we're not sure of at this time, so we'll probably come back to the board later for that.
What's the time frame that's set up for this, or do you have an approximate? I know there's always this Christmas specials from GE that pop up every year. But.
Yeah, a lot of, like the ultrasound, I'm looking at around March, so probably first quarter, along with the portable for the x-ray. And then we have a contractual thing with our service agreement where we'll need to get the flywheel in for the hospital first, within 150 days, and then the other ones can, the MRI for Sequim, along with the flywheel, will probably be more like August, September.
So it's a big one.
And even if we commit to this year, the payment occurs on delivery. So when ultrasounds arrive, that's when we deliver, and when they really work, that's when we finish the payment.
So the reason that it's getting delayed to August, September, we have Department of Health, and we got to get the architect involved, and then we have electrical to get involved, and so it's going to take about 6 months for that part. And that's the main reason why it would be moved out.
Please pass my thanks on to the stenographers. They were very engaged. They asked all the right questions. They were very hands-on, and I want them to know that the board appreciates their efforts and their contribution to this process. This is a win for everybody. The docs get to see clearer images. There's safety factors for ergonomics for the techs. And what I like most about it is if the stenographer makes an error at bedside, they don't need to wait till they get back to the department to correct it. They can do it at the bedside, and that's a big safety issue. So good purchase.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Eric, agreement for inpatient psychiatry consults?
So we're pleased to ask for board action on the agreement for inpatient psychiatric services with Bensen Behavioral Health. Bensen Behavioral Health's been a key partner of ours, and Dr. Josh Jones is just an outstanding psychiatrist and really a great medical director for them. Our next board meeting on January 6th, Peter Casey is going to be here, the executive director of Bensen Behavioral Health, to update the board on everything going on including an update on the respite center, which the board helped establish with your support. He's going to talk about other programs at Peninsula Behavioral Health. But Peninsula Behavioral Health is really a key partner, and one of the big gaps we have is we wanted to recruit a second psychiatrist to town. So this agreement helps us do that. What this agreement will do is it's a 3-year agreement, and what it provides is at least 1 hour every day, Monday through Friday, of inpatient psychiatric rounding. Dr. Josh Jones is going to do most of it. He will be here to round on our patients. In addition, Peninsula Behavioral Health will be providing an ARNP for consults for OMP's patients that are at skilled nursing facilities a minimum of 3 hours a week. This will be great to have inpatient, or our skilled nursing facilities will have psychiatric rounding. Basically, OMC pays $4,500 a month for these services, which really just reimburses them for their costs. This does provide, it helps support the second psychiatrist. I think the big goals of this contract, one is for our patients with psychiatric or mental health needs. It gives them the best possible care, very timely, by having daily rounding. It's also a safety issue. We're really going to focus on staff safety for patients that are perhaps experiencing violent episodes. We will have a consult on them and try to calm everything down and prevent or enhance patient safety and employee safety. So we've been working on this agreement for a while. I think the board budget committee looked at it earlier and was comfortable moving forward. I really recommend approval. So I think it moves us to the next level on inpatient psychiatric care. And it also really helps the community have more psychiatrist resources.
May I please have a motion to approve the 3-year professional inpatient and skilled nursing facility psychiatric service agreement with Peninsula Behavioral Health to provide inpatient psychiatry consults for $4,500 per month, effective January 1, 2016, as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or discussion? Dr. Miles?
This lady we met tonight, is she going to be part of this?
Probably not. Her work is in the primary care clinic. What we're trying to do is deal with mental health in the primary care setting. So she's embedded in the primary care clinic. That's where she'll do some work. She could do some inpatient consults if it became appropriate. But we're really trying to deal with as much as we can within primary care. And in fact, as we open up our new building, we want to have psychiatrists available to see patients in the primary care setting. But we do get acute problems here in the hospital, and this is really needed. And I will say that the hospital, if you compare the hospital today to 10 years ago, we are a different hospital. We have much more significant mental health along with physical health problems and chemical and alcohol dependencies. We have very complex patients. Medicare has changed the rules so that the easiest 20% of inpatients no longer can be inpatients. And society's problems, I think, are more intense, particularly on mental health. I think we absolutely need this to take good care of our patients and provide a safer environment for our employees.
Other comments or discussion from the board, John?
Well, I think it's really important that we stop separating mental health and issues of that nature from the physical part of us. Sooner or later, we're going to have to get there. So this is a very important step. I mean, it's important to the hospital right now.
Sure.
But it's also an important evolutionary step toward getting to where we're going to have to be.
Exactly.
So I support it.
Other comments from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? So moved.
Thank you.
Darryl, change order for the west parking lots and ambulance entrance.
Change order? Can we get Packy back? Can we get Packy back?
He's in Hawaii, he wants to come back.
So good evening, I'm here to ask for approval of the change order I introduced 2 weeks ago. This is for essentially the civil landscape design, irrigation, electrical that goes along with the irrigation, as well as the ambulance entry behind the annex. Most of the work is on the parking lots on the west side of Race Street. The total of the change order is $135,275, and I ask for your approval.
May I please have a motion to authorize the Port Angeles Medical Office Building Project change order in the amount of $135,275 for civil and landscape design, irrigation, electrical, and ambulance driveway paving as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or discussion from the
So this
board?
is for the whole 9 yards, this is not just for design and, okay.
Yeah.
Other comments?
And as Darryl pointed out, this very logically could have been as part of the original bid.
Right.
We didn't spec the work out during the initial bid, and this is something we probably should have included then. So it's not really, I don't see it as a change order, this is just doing some things we should have been doing all along.
I apologize.
That's okay, I know you're okay.
Any other comments? Jean?
Yeah, when are you looking to have those 2 parking lots done?
Friday.
Really?
Yep.
I'm just amazed at how fast the parking lot, the gravel one over there gets filled up so quick now too. I mean, just.
Yeah, we've been pushing to get these open because, for example, our friends at the Peds Clinic and, with the, like as Jim pointed out, with the roads being closed, the more parking we can get open, the faster, the better, so that's our plan.
Other comments from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? So moved.
Thank you.
Let's continue.
I don't have a formal report today. I just want to tell the board that in your board package is the 2016 budget and the strategic plan from 2016 to 2018. And I'm available for any questions, but I just don't have a formal report today.
I just like the cut down version on the strategic. You did a good job on this.
Yeah, I think this. I like the strategic plan a lot. I think the content is real, but it's also well put together. It's much more readable. I think it's a document that you can sit down and learn a lot about Olympic Medical Center and where we're going and why we're going there. And it gives us a great roadmap for the coming 3 years, because if we achieve this, we're going to be a different organization 3 years from now, and we're going to be in the right position for our community.
We're going to be a different organization whether we plan for it or not.
Yes.
It's better to plan for it.
Yeah, you want to plan where you're going to go, because I think Medicare, both Washington, D.C. and Olympia are requiring us to move forward and change. We can't stay the same and expect to continue to operate long term.
Any other questions from the board? Surplus property area.
Yeah, in the board package on pages 23 and 24 is some surplus property, primarily fully depreciated IT equipment and fully depreciated medical equipment. We looked at it in the board budget committee last week. Just want to ask the board to approve it as surplus property.
May I please have a motion to approve the property listed on pages 23 and 24 of the board package as surplus as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Comments or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? So moved. There being no further business, we are adjourned.
Thank you, Jim. I think it's
yes.
better with the other.
Yeah, it's good.
More professional.
Oh, you
It
can
looks
good
like-
about it.
Easier to read.
You're able to say.
Thanks for your last review. That was very helpful.
The comment